Pretty good mullet, Wilson. Dreadlock mullet.
It's been way too long since a good old-fashioned homestead vlog, and that's because it's been a busy start to the year for our family. We kicked things off with a little beach vacation in two of our favorite New Zealand beach towns. First on the list, Mount Maunganui.
Welcome to Mount Maunganui. It's a beautiful day. We're grabbing some brunch, and then we'll go for a little walk and head out of here.
The Mount, as it's known to locals, is an awesome little town filled with beautiful white sand beaches and turquoise water. It's got a laid-back vibe, and we happily spent a few days here just chilling at the beach with our baby, eating out at some of the great local restaurants, and catching up on some sleep in our cozy little Airbnb. But I wanted some surf, and there were no waves on the horizon, so we packed up our bags and headed over to the other coast. We scored some fun waves and spent a few super relaxing days beachside, exploring around town, playing in the sand with our little angel, and me in the ocean, getting as many waves as I possibly could.
Just had a really nice surf here. Family's chilling on the beach. Beautiful day, but my heart is heavy, and I'll tell you why.
One of my favorite places in my home state of California, the community my grandparents called home for over 65 years, where my mom and her siblings grew up, had been nearly completely wiped off the map by a devastating firestorm. It took me a few weeks to process what happened, and our family and friends are still reeling from this tragedy. If you want to better understand what happened, you can watch this video. And if you were personally affected by the fires, my heart goes out to you. But back at the homestead, life keeps on moving, and there are plenty of projects to take care of.
The house is a disaster. We have a baby who's about to be one. Very curious, pulling all things.
Wait. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Let's back up a couple days.
Pretty good mullet, Wilson. Dreadlock mullet.
It's summer, which around here means getting ready for winter, harvesting firewood, splitting, and stacking.
This morning, the first task is taking this firewood that I ringed out yesterday and getting it into the shed so we can start refilling the supply of firewood. I do have a whole season's worth of firewood on the other side in the second little overhang there, but we definitely want to be working on getting this reloaded, and there's no easy way to do it other than just to do it. So let's get started. Okay, that's done. Got the split wood in here. I'll come back later when I have some free time and split it. But there's other projects to attend to, so let's go. So for those of you who've been watching for a while, you probably remember the Roof Chronicles, painting the roof. Well, it's pretty much 100% done. I'd say it's 98% done because I still have to paint one last little section of rain guttering here on the deck. So let's wrap that up. Let's put that one on the finished list. Feels good to cross stuff off. I'll show you what I got left to do. So as you can see, I was in the process of finishing, but it started to rain, so I had to stop. But we just need to finish painting the guttering, this matching color of the roof, this gray, instead of the old green that it used to be. And that runs right down here, just to the end there. So it's not like a huge section left, but it's gonna feel awesome to have that totally done. It's a big job, and in the process of doing it myself, I saved our family over 20,000 bucks. So I'm stoked on that. Let's go.
So I wrapped that up and was finally able to forget about the roof for a few years, fingers crossed. What a relief, but no sleep for the weary. The next morning I was up before the sunrise and out into the hills on my buddy's farm. My neighbor Corey is a sheep and cattle farmer, and he's one of the hardest working people I've ever met. I've always been curious about what he gets up to on the farm. So I asked if I could follow him around periodically throughout the coming year to better understand what goes into a year of farming, and all the while document it and share it with all of you. Thankfully, he agreed, and it looks like you guys are really enjoying the video. But if you haven't seen it yet, here are a few clips from my recent video, the first in this series. You can click on the card up in the corner, load it up in 4K, and watch it after you finish this video. Okay, off of the farm and back on the homestead, which means back to work. Next project, fixing up our cruddy old footpath from the house to the garage. We had some visitors from the UK staying with us, and Ross had plenty of experience pouring concrete slabs, so we decided to tuck into this project and make the most of the next few days. Step number 1, removing the old concrete. First, we needed a special concrete saw to cut away the places we wanted to remove from the areas that we wanted to keep. Once we'd made the proper cuts, we went at it with a jackhammer and removed all of that old broken concrete. Then we got to mixing the concrete, which for some reason, probably because my wife makes a loaf of sourdough every day, it reminded me of making bread. But instead of using flour, water, and yeast, we're using builder's mix, cement, and water. I reckon learning how to do this will come in real handy down the road. There's nothing like a day working with a shovel to remind you how hard this kind of work is, and the respect we should all have for the people who do these crucial tasks day in and day out. Plus, I can't be the only person here who's fascinated by the process of smoothing the concrete. It's oddly fascinating, right? Tell me in the comments if you agree. Also, just so you know the tradie term, it's technically called floating the concrete, and the water on top of the slab is called the fat.
So the idea is you want it flush.
Yeah.
And if there's areas where there's more, you scoop it out and put it in the areas where there's less. Okay, we got to do it. I'm gonna put Eliana's little handprint into the footpath, then use a nail to write the date. There you go. And perfect. Yes. Okay, good. Yeah.
It's been a whirlwind of activity over here, but it feels good to see visible progress and take care of things that need taking care of.
Yeah.
We might just get started right here.
Okay, good morning. It's the next day and we're on to the next concrete project. We are going to set up a slab here so that I can build a compost, multi-bay compost area, because what happens is there was kind of a DIY compost set up here when we first moved in, made out of old pallet boards, but it just kind of eventually rotted away. And then the sheep come in here and they eat all of our compost scraps before they can actually turn into compostable soil. So we need to create a protected area, and the first step for me, I believe, is laying this slab. So we're gonna get to work. Whoa. Whoa. Preparing my deck. Summer in New Zealand, which means it's time to take your deck out. Make sure it's oiled. Jokes aside, repairing the deck, the exposed areas are kind of rotten, places that are kind of taking the brunt of up and down and the weather, so we've ripped those out, and by we I mean I. And then slowly but surely making progress getting it reinstalled. Then I'll pressure wash the deck and restain it, and it should be good for a couple more years. Another good tip that I've learned over the years, almost everything on this house has been done with nails, and nails are great if you're never planning on removing them without damaging whatever you're trying to fix. A lot of these boards on the corner are really warped and rotten, just happens over the years, and so they have to be removed. And here's a little hack for removing nails that I learned from a contractor friend, a builder friend. Basically what you do is you get 2 hammers and you find the nail that you want to remove, and you basically use the sharp end right here, and you kind of just dig that down underneath to get the nail hooked, and then you can just use the other hammer underneath for leverage, and a nail just pops right out. Also, if you kind of put your weight down on the board, you can get that little edge under the head of the nail. You can just pull it right out. And it's gone. And this would just be a nightmare to pull out with just one hammer. You can see the edge. These are split, loose, rotten. Even the corner foundational framing is not in a good place, so I've used some liquid nails and restained it. So hopefully that'll help give it a little more life. But gotta remove this. Look at this, it's gonna come right out.
I got so locked into the deck project that I totally forgot to film myself pressure washing it, but it's all wrapped up. I'm just waiting for it to dry before I restain it, so I'll include that in the next Homestead vlog. If you enjoyed this video, you gotta let me know. Give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. These are the signals to the algorithm and to me that I should continue to keep making these style of videos. So if you like these homestead vlogs, let me know, drop a comment, give a thumbs up, share it with your friends. And if you're not already subscribed, change that, hit the subscribe button. It's mind-boggling how many people are watching the channel without subscribing. So let's change that, hit the subscribe button, okay? Right on. I'll see you in the next video. Stay curious, keep growing, and never give up. Much love, friends. Peace.